This is a primitive fire starting technique called the bow drill. I've got my bow strung already, slightly curved. I've got my spindle, which is created out of a piece of oak, about as long as my hang 10 sign on my hand. I've got my fire catch, I've got my fire board, and I've made an indent in there by placing my spindle on top of the board, hitting it a couple times with the rock, not hard enough to damage my spindle or my rock or to split the fireboard. Now that I've created that, I'm going to lace up my bow drill with the spindle, placing my left foot on top of the fireboard to hold it closest to the hole. You can see my tennis shoe there. I'm going to place a rock on top of it, and I'm going to burn in my hole before making an indent for the ember to fall out on the catch. But I'm going to do this until I burn in the board, which means that I'm going to create a little bit of smoke, which we've done successfully. Blow it off there. I'm going to take my trusty saw that's on my Gerber, and I'm going to create a notch for the ember to fall out of. And that's going to be just wide enough that it's wider at the bottom than it is at the top. And like I said, that's for your ember to fall out of. I'm going to use a knife to cut it close to the hole that we've created with the spindle. Okay, you see that? And on the bottom, it's wider than the top. Now we're going to lace up our bow drill again, placing our left foot next to the fireboard, or on the fireboard next to the hole. Spindle in the bow, rock on top, and we begin to pump. Not a lot of pressure at this point, just enough to get it going. And in my case, I'm using cedar, which is a little bit harder to start. So I'm going to pump it until it almost eats through the wood, which is there. And I've got my ember going here. And that's it. Put it inside of a nest, and away you go.